All right, guys, today I'm going to talk about The Burden of Freedom by Dr. Myles Munroe. This is a book that I've read for almost 5 times. Very impactful, very insightful. And I think every guy out there should go and get this book. It's a very nice book, full of information, full of wisdom. Yes, it contains wisdom keys that you should go and get it. So now let's move on straight. The first thing that Dr. Myles Munroe said in his book, The Burden of Freedom, is that freedom is not the absence of responsibility. Yes, so the moment you are thinking of freedom, you should also be thinking of responsibility. He went on to say that true freedom demands discipline, accountability, and stewardship. It's not about escaping rules. It's about mastering yourself. So the moment you think of freedom, it's not about escaping rules. It's about what? Mastering yourself. It's about discipline. So the moment a country starts to think of freedom, independence, then that country must start thinking of what? Being disciplined in all its affairs. Also being accountable. Yes, freedom comes with accountability. And also stewardship, because the moment you get your freedom, you are not going to take care of yourself. You are not going to do things on your own. No one is going to rule you, and no one is going to dictate for you. No one is going to tell you to wake up at this time. No. So you must be what? Self-discipline, and you must be accountable. The second thing that he said is that mental liberation precedes physical freedom. You must first be free in your mind before you can walk in freedom externally. Oppression begins and ends in the mind. So the fact that you are physically free doesn't mean you are mentally free. No. Some people are physically independent, but mentally they are not dependent. Yes, mentally they are not independent. I get it. So what he's saying is that mental liberation precedes physical freedom. So the moment you get your physical freedom, you need to proceed to what? Get what? Mental what? Liberation or mental freedom. Mental freedom. So you must be free in your mind before you can walk in freedom externally. You must be free in your mind. You must be free of negative thinking. You must be thinking positively. And that the slave mentality must what? Go off. And now you think as somebody who is free and is capable of managing it or his or her own what? Affairs. So you must be mentally liberated. Good. The third thing that he said is that freedom requires work. Unlike slavery, which imposes structure, freedom demands that you build your own. It's harder, but far more rewarding. Freedom requires work. So any nation that wants to have independence, and I know many nations got their independence long time, but because they don't want to work, always they will remain poor. So the moment you think of independence, you think of freedom, you must also be thinking of work. So if a young guy wants to go out, leave home, you don't want to be under the care of his parents, and you want to go out. As you're going out, you must be thinking of work. Because from the day you go out or you step out, no one is going to pay your bills for you. No one is going to give you money in the morning. No one is going to pay your school fees or anything. So as you are stepping out, know that you are going to work. So every freedom that you call for, it also calls for what? Work. Let's move on. The fourth thing that he said is that purpose is the anchor of freedom. Without purpose, freedom becomes chaos. Knowing your divine assignment gives direction to your liberty. So you want freedom, right? Freedom without purpose is chaos. So the moment a person calls for freedom, that person might have a purpose why he's calling for freedom. I get in it. So a nation that have independence without purpose will still go back to what? Slavery, go back to what? Poverty. Yes. So every freedom that we are calling for, it must come with what? A purpose. As a young guy that want to step out from your home, out of the guidance of your parents, and you are, what is the purpose? Is it that you want to go and mingle with your friends, have freedom to do whatever you like and waste your life? What is the purpose? I get it. So every freedom you are calling for also calls for what? A purpose. So the moment you demand freedom, you should also call for what? a purpose. Let's move on to the fifth thing. Victimhood is a trap. Living in the shadow of past oppression can keep you bound. And doctor said that the readers should reject victimhood and embrace empowerment. I get in it. Embrace empowerment. The sixth thing that he said is that self-governance is essential. Freedom means governing your own thoughts, actions, and choices. You become the leader of your life. So the moment you gain freedom, you become your own boss. Yes, every decision is now coming back to you. So when you make a wrong decision, the consequences is coming back to you. When you make a wrong choice, the consequences is coming back to you. So now freedom is good, all right, but make sure that the freedom you are gaining, it comes with what? Self-governance. And for you to be a good leader of your own self, you must be disciplined. You must be accountable. Yes, you must be accountable and disciplined. So these are the 6 things that he said. Let's move on to the 7th one. He said that stewardship is the ultimate test. Stewardship is the ultimate test. Managing your resources, relationships, and responsibilities is the true measure of freedom. It's not what you have, it's how you handle them. So a man can have so many resources, have cars, houses, but if the man is not a good stewardship, within a twinkle of an eye, the man can lose everything. And we are all witnesses of wealthy people, footballers, basketball players who are mounting what? Wealth. But now they have nothing. Why? Because they were not good with stewardship. So freedom comes with what? Stewardship, being a good steward. Because at that time that you are enjoying your freedom, no one is responsible for what? Your resources. You are responsible for your own resources. So if you waste the resources, the people are going to suffer. So imagine a nation who is having all the resources, but the leaders are not good are not good stewards. The nation will go back to what? Poverty. That nation is going to suffer because they don't have good stewards. And as individual, if you are not a good steward, no matter what is being handed to you, you waste it. I'm telling the truth. You waste it if you are not a good steward. So the small resources that you have, make sure you are a good steward of it. So that's what Dr. Myles Munroe said. And that was the 7th thing I learned from the book. The 8th thing I learned from the book is that freedom is a burden because it demands choices. Yeah. Freedom is a burden because it demands choices. You must choose wisely, consistently, and courageously. Every choice shapes your future. So when you have your freedom, but you go out and make wrong choices, you are doomed. So many nations are making wrong choices. They have freedom, all right? They are independent. But the choices they are making daily is sending them to what? A doom's age. Yes, it's sending them backwards. As others are moving forward, trying to do things, they are moving backwards because they are not what? Making the right choices. So every freedom you call for, it demands what? Choices. So as I've always been saying that as you leave home, you know, in Africa we say, oh, I'm a hustler, I'm going out to hustle. Fine, going out to hustle is not a problem, but as you go out, make sure you make right choices. As you are stepping out from the door, make sure you are going to make right choices. That freedom you are going out to get, it's not something that someone is restricting you. Good, go and have your freedom, but make sure you make right choices, because any wrong move that you make, the consequences will come back to you. It's not going back to your parents, it's not going back to your siblings, it will come back to you. So make sure that the freedom you are calling for, maybe you are at university, your parents are not there, you are training college or high school, your parents are not there, so you think you have your freedom to do whatever you like. No problem, do whatever you like, but make sure that you make right choices, because whatever consequences that comes, it is you who is going to enjoy the consequences. If you go out and get pregnant, the baby will be in your womb. It's not going to be in your mother's womb or your sister's womb. It's going to be in your womb. And if you're a young guy, maybe now starting life, you start womanizing and things. Every choices that you make, it is you who bear the consequences. So that was the 8th thing that he said. The 9th thing that he said is that oppression leaves psychological scars. Oppression leaves psychological scars. He explains that how generational trauma affects self-worth, creativity, and initiative, and how healing begins with truth and transformation. Anybody who has been oppressed before has a psychological trauma. If I've lived under somebody who is always shouting on you, insulting you, making you feel less of yourself, the moment you step out, you have the inferiority complex within you. You feel like you don't amount to anything. Or even when you are among your colleagues, you feel less. You can't speak out, you can't talk. Like you have scars in your mind. So any nation or anybody who has been oppressed before, has been in slavery before, it leaves what? A mental scars. And these scars can be cured by what? Mental transformation. It can be cured by truth. That's what the Bible said. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. So without the truth, you can't be free from your mental slavery, from the oppression. Good. Let's talk about the last thing that doctor said. Freedom is God's original design. Freedom is God's original design. From Eden to Exodus, God's plan was always for his people to walk in freedom with responsibility, purpose, and dominion. So freedom is not the idea of man. Freedom is the idea from God. Because God created Adam and Eve and he placed them in the Garden of Eden for them to enjoy their freedom. For them to for Adam to name all the animals and everything that he wants to name, or how he wants to call them. Yes, God gave him what? Freedom. So God's original plan, freedom is God's what? Original design. So everybody must have freedom. But the freedom you are calling for, think of accountability, think of responsibility, think of your good choices, and think of stewardship. So these are the 10 things I learned from the book The Burden of Freedom by Dr. Myles Munroe. I want everyone out there to go and get the book. You can get it from Amazon, any bookshop. That's when you go and ask for Dr. Myles Munroe, The Burden of Freedom. You can get it from there. This is World Transformation Center. What we do here is that I'm a reader. I like reading books. Any book that I get that is very impactful, I like reading. So this is the time I've said to myself, or I've told myself, that whatever I've read and all the books I've read, I'm going to share the 10 points or the 10 lessons I read from the book that impacted my life, and what I'm also using to perfect my life. So I'm going to share 10 lessons or 10 insightful or impactful message from all the books that I've read and I'm still reading with you guys. Share, comments, and subscribe. God bless you. Jesus is Lord. Thank you.